I watched the entire Economist interview of Elon Musk. You can actually find it floating around on Twitter for free. You don't have to subscribe in order to watch it. And it is just so good to see Elon Musk get grilled on the bullshit that he spews for like the first time in 2 years. The last time that this happened was when Don Lemon was going to have a show on X. And it was going to be Don Lemon on X. And one of the first interview subjects he got was Elon Musk, because Elon was trying to make Twitter the new YouTube, which was a plan that absolutely didn't work out. In that interview, Don Lemon asked Elon Musk some tough questions. He's very rarely actually grilled by anybody, and basically he was so furious with the fact that he'd been asked about like racism and stuff like that Don Lemon lost his show and Don Lemon on X never became a thing. Well, in this interview, it does somewhat humanize Elon Musk a little bit, because to me, he's just like the most obscene hate figure ever. And in the beginning, he is somewhat reasonable. He's talking about technological advancement. I don't personally think that AI robots are going to lead to abundance for every single person on the entire world, and that money will like not be important. It's very easy for the richest man in the entire world to tell you to not worry about money in the future because AI will sort you out. We're already seeing how like the average person is getting absolutely screwed over by like rising hardware prices. In the second half of this interview, he gets asked about the fact that he always says that like London is a danger zone and all this shit about the UK that is just absolutely not true, and that he supports all these extreme far-right fringe parties, not even like just a right party, but like the most obscene far-right fringes in every European country. And he admits that he hasn't been to England in 3 years, but yet he's willing to listen to like Tommy Robinson and have all these swooping things be said about Britain, that, oh, we're facing civil war, like there's going to be a civil war in Britain. And thankfully, the interviewer is a lot like me, and she's like, well, I live in England, and literally nobody talks about civil war. Like, that is such an Americanism. Like, who the fuck, what sides are there in Britain? Is it just, like, stupid far-right fucking morons that can't fucking think straight against every other reasonable person in the country? Because I promise you, if you actually have to have a war against all these people, like, the fringe far-right is not as fucking big as they think they are. And then he says, oh, I'm a person that's quite good at predictions, which everyone knows isn't true. There's basically not a single Elon Musk prediction that has ever come true. I'm pretty sure in 2015 he was saying we'd have self-driving cars in 2016. We still don't have that today. And he says, robots will create extreme abundance in 10 years, and there will be a civil war in Britain in 20 years. Like, I'm not even getting a slight bubbling sensation of a civil war ever possibly happening in England. And he says, oh, in 20 years there's going to be a civil war. Shut the fuck up, man. And it just annoys me as someone that actually lives in London, like, you know, the scary place London, which is safer than any American city, as the interviewer rightfully points out. Like, when the England games were on, I'm on a street that has absolutely tons of different, like, ethnicities and, like, restaurants and bars that represent that. And I walked down the street when England were playing a game, and I saw basically every single shop on my street all gathered, people of their own culture, all gathered in these different places, all watching the England game. Like, they fundamentally are part of the fucking country. Like, just shut the fuck up, you absolute dickhead. And it's just really strange because Elon Musk ultimately is the richest person in the world. He heads like a lot of companies that do things that society probably needs, and he could just be a likable figure, but instead we have to have this like right-wing awful shit attached to him, like promoting the fucking shit Uwe Boll film Citizen Vigilante, which involves like just being a vigilante and killing some Muslims in like a European city. Like, great, you're basically just dog whistling like, oh, I hope someone like sees this tweet and does that shit, you know? And then thankfully he gets grilled on this interview about the fact that he headed the Doge department, which achieved absolutely nothing unless you don't have a brain in your skull and you don't know how to pass information at all. And he denies that like anyone was in danger or that anyone died off the back of him making ruthlessly huge cuts to all sorts of US aid spending, like HIV prevention in like African countries. And he says, oh, well, there are thousands of other like NGOs that could like pick up the slack. Why the fuck would an NGO be ready to pick up the slack of like a huge government funded program by America getting like completely wiped overnight from like several African countries? Like, what? That's not fucking true at all. So he denies that like anybody was harmed by him like hiring a bunch of 20-year-olds to make swooping like cuts to the government and achieving absolutely fucking nothing in the process. Ugh. So overall, in this interview, he seems like almost likable. He's almost grilled on his beliefs, but it's just not quite there. Like maybe one day he might just wake up and think like, fuck me, I've been such a bastard. But no, don't know. I don't hold out much hope, and I do still fucking hate him, to be honest.
Elon Musk just declared himself a former trillionaire. Now, Elon Musk just got on X and posted 2 words that broke the internet. Former trillionaire. That's it. No long explanation, no press release, just 2 words and a bracket. And the whole world understood exactly what happened. Now, let me give you the full picture. Now, on June 12, 2026, SpaceX went public on the Nasdaq in one of the biggest IPOs in history. The stock was priced at $135 per share and surged to an all-time high of $225.64 on June 16th. Now, that surge pushed Elon Musk's net worth past $1 trillion, making him the first human being in history to ever hold that title. We covered that story on this channel. The man was worth 1.45 trillion naira at his peak. History was made. Then, market reminded everyone, including the richest man alive, who is actually in charge. Now, in the week of July 23rd, which is just this week, Tesla shares, plunged 18%. Their worst weekly performance since 2022, closing at $313. The crash was triggered by Tesla reporting weaker than expected earnings for the second quarter. And SpaceX didn't escape that either. SpaceX stocks dropped another 7.2% over the same week, closing at $115, its lowest point since the IPO just weeks earlier. Now, from his peak net worth of 1.45 trillion on June 16th, Musk's wealth had collapsed to approximately $738 billion by July 23rd. This is between $650 and $700 billion wiped out in just 5 weeks. Now, the loss is considered the largest personal wealth decline ever recorded in the history of mankind. And on July 24th, Elon Musk sat down, opened X, and typed former trillionaire. Now, here's the lesson I want every single person watching this video to take away. And this applies to you whether you have 50,000 naira invested in the stock market or 50 million naira. Now, the stock market does not respect titles. It does not care that you were the richest person in human history 6 weeks ago. It does not negotiate. It does not warn you. It moves. And when it moves against you, it moves fast and it moves hard. The next time your portfolio is down and you are panicking, the next time you are watching your investments drop, and you feel like the world is ending, remember this story. Remember that the same market doing that to your account just turned the world's first trillionaire into a multi-billionaire in just 5 weeks. Took $700 billion from one man in 35 days. That is not, a reason to be afraid of the market. It is a reason to understand it, to respect it, to never put in any money you cannot afford to stay patient with, and to never make emotional decisions based on short-term movements. And the funniest thing is, despite all this, Elon Musk remains the richest person on earth because he understood something most people don't. You only lose permanently if you sell in panic. Paper losses are not real losses until you exit. The market gave Elon Musk $1 trillion. The market took most of that back. And Elon Musk is still standing. Stay patient, stay informed, and never let a red wig make you make a permanent decision. This is Mr. Abdul Reacts.